What's the story? In this lesson, you're going to learn to write word problems to match a picture. Word problems are like the word stories that I write for you that you have to figure out. So let's get started. Okay, look at this array. And the first thing the question asks you is, how many rows are in the array? Well, for that, you're simply going to count rows going down. So we have 1, 2, 3 rows. So we'll put a 3 right there so we don't forget. And we'll write it right there. Okay, how many columns are there? You count that going across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 going across. And we'll put a 7 right here so we remember. So how do we use this to write a multiplication problem? The thing that we have to remember when we're multiplying is we're looking for a total. Okay, so if we counted all of these blocks, we would get a total of 21, because 7 times 3 is 21. Okay, so we have to think of a story where we're looking for a total of 21, and we have either 3 groups of 7 or 7 groups of 3. Okay, so let's look at the next page. So now what we're going to do is to write our own number story right here, or a word problem. Okay, so I'm thinking we have 3 groups of 7. Okay, so here's a story that I could write. Okay, so there were 7 swimmers on the higher swim team. Each player won 3 ribbons. How many ribbons did the swimmers win? Okay, so this is my story problem. Notice I have 7 groups of 3. There were 7 swimmers on the higher swim team. Okay, picture that in your mind. Picture 7 people. Each player won 3 ribbons. So how many ribbons did the swimmers win? So the answer to that problem would be 21. Okay, how could our array model division also? How would we write a story problem for that? Well, remember, division is simply the opposite of multiplication. With division, you have your total. Remember, our total was 21. And we're going to put those 21 into 3 different groups. So kind of think about it like this. This is a group, this is a group, and this is a group. So you have 3 groups, and there are 7 in each group. Okay, so let's think of a story problem that we could write for that. But we have to start with our total of 21. Okay, I've got it. This time I'm going to write a story about seashells. And I'm going to put myself into the story. I found 21 seashells on Galveston Beach. I separated them into 3 buckets. Take home to my friends. Okay, so there's the part we need so far. I found 21 shells on Galveston Beach. That is my total. I'm going to divide my total into 3 groups. Now I'm going to ask my question. How many shells will each person get? Okay, the answer to that, if you just counted these up here, counted your blocks, would be 1, 2, 3, 4, each person would get 7 seashells. I love writing number stories. They're really pretty easy. Okay, so now we have a thinking block. So let's look at it carefully and think, what is this diagram showing us? Well, the first thing that I notice is that I have up here at the top, I have a number. And when I have a number at the top, that means that I have a total. Then, down here at the bottom, I notice that I have groups. And if I count them, I have 5 groups. So what does it represent? Well, it represents division, because I'm separating 20 items into 5 different groups. And they're going to be equal groups. So now, how do we write a story problem to represent this? I want you to pause this and see if you can write your own, and then you can look back and see what mine looks like. Okay, so here's what mine would look like. Okay, so there are 20 goldfish in an aquarium. The sales clerk separated them into, let's see, I had 5 groups up there, so I'm going to say into 5 bags. Now here's my question. How many goldfish are in each bag? Because if you notice, my question mark is inside the group, so I'm trying to figure out how many are in each group. If you're having any trouble, go back and watch this one more time and see if that helps you out any.